Welcome to Donu's Week, which is about what I've been up to for the past 7 days, the people I've interacted with, the places I've been to, the things I've done and not done, and the thoughts I've had. Hello everyone. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to Donu's Week. So, let me tell you what's been happening in Donu's world in the past 7 days. Quick health update. I am still in London and I went to see my London doctor, and they're very pleased with me because I'm a lot better off in terms of I'm much healthier now than I was in March when I last saw them. There's nothing in my tests to indicate that there's any cause for concern around diabetes. I am steadily losing weight. I still have about 50 kilos to go, but I've lost like 20, so I'm going in the right direction. So, yay. Maybe a day will come when I won't even have to talk about my health or my weight, because I'll be exactly where I need to be. All right, so let's now move to the highlights and lowlights of my week. And I want to start with the lowest of lowlights. Just devastating death of my aunt, Mrs. Beatrice Fisher. She's not my blood aunt, but I've been close to her and her family for a long time. Her daughter Annette is one of my best friends, and Auntie Beatrice passed away yesterday. Annette has been a heroic, saintly daughter and carer alongside her daughter, that is Auntie Beatrice's granddaughter, Francetta. So Annette and her daughter did their best, but all good things must come to an end. Well, all human life ends. So Auntie passed away yesterday in her early 90s. I will do a full-blown tribute to her because, she was, apart from just being a warm, loving person who bailed me out a couple of times when I was in trouble financially and was always full of wise advice, she also was a very smart woman, a lawyer who wrote books, and we'll talk about her at greater length in a future episode of Donu's Week. Perhaps the week when we bury her in Lagos, because she's going to be buried next to my Uncle Landry, her late husband. Okay? Right, okay, so a highlight of the week was a get-together last Sunday in my friend Jane Dixon's house. Jane is a fellow journalist. We met when we both worked for the British Sunday Times newspaper, and she had a lunch. Well, I'd like to say it was in my honor because she made sure it happened when I was around, and she invited members of our book club, because during COVID, I started a book club for women. It's online most of the time, but whenever we are in the same city, we try to get together. Most of them are in London, but there's one in Mumbai. Hi, Pretty. There's one in Boston. Hi, Bissy. And we have different nationalities. We have English, we have South African, we have Indian, we have American. So anyway, those of us who happened to be in London last Sunday got together in Jane's house, and it was a great lunch. We argued and discussed about so many topics. I realized I had known almost everybody there for at least 30 years. And there's nothing like an old friend, but there are also a couple of new friends as well, like Judith, who joined the book club a couple of years ago, I think. So we talked about Israel. That's a topic I have tried to avoid on these podcasts because it's such a hot potato. I mean, you have people who are Jewish, you have people who are or should I say not anti-Jewish, but anti-Israel. You have people who are pro-Palestinian, people who, it's complicated, it's traumatic. So I'll just say that the conversation we had was very interesting. And it's good to go over the issues sometimes. we carried on with that topic actually, because I spent the night at Jane's. I couldn't be bothered to go back to my house, because Jane lives in North London and I stay with my sister in South London. So anyway, we invited a friend, another friend, North London friend called Lawrence Joffy, to come round in the evening when the book club ladies had left, and we continued the discussion about Israel and the situation in Gaza. And Lawrence is a very compassionate person, one of those Jewish people who, of course, stands, I say of course, because to me it goes without saying that Israel has a right to exist. But, hey, even that is a controversial comment nowadays. But he also feels a lot of empathy with the people who are suffering because of what's happening in Gaza. So that was, it's a good discussion. So the next day, when, having spent the whole of Sunday with a bunch of old friends, talking about controversial issues and books and whatever, I now went off to do something on Monday called the Face Gym in Selfridges, which is a big department store here in London, and I've never done this before, and it's really expensive. So as I was doing it, I was thinking, I can't really afford this. Why? But women, vanity, we always want to look our best, even if we're not very good at maintaining a good grooming routine. Once in a while, most women will want to treat themselves to some kind of beauty treatment, or whether it's a hairdresser or whatever. So I had this thing called the Face Gym, where they manipulate your face and they deep cleanse it. And it was really interesting. And I did look better afterwards. So if I could afford it, I would do it every week. But anyway, that was nice. That was a highlight of the week. Thank you, Selfridges. Thank you, Face Gym. That's the name of the company. And then another highlight was Chinelo. My friend Chinelo Ewenofu. She actually lives in Abuja with me, but she's here in London at the moment, and she turned 65 on Tuesday, and she had her children organized a dinner for her in a Nigerian restaurant in North London, and that went really, really well. And so happy birthday, Chini. May you rock your new age. May the next few months be better than the last few months. And very proud of you for producing such caring children who would organize such a wonderful event for you. Okay, then so I will talk later about some beauty advice, going back to this beauty issue that I got from my friend Aduke Gomez. But we try to keep these videos as short as possible, because apparently the average person does not watch a YouTube video for more than 8 minutes, even if it's a huge celebrity who is, the star of the video. And since I'm not a huge celebrity, I try to keep these videos as close to 8 minutes as possible. So I will tell you about Aduke's beauty advice another day. It was quite it was quite revealing and positive. So I won't forget to mention it. Maybe next week. Okay, so my thought for this week, the food for thought for this week is that, like I said, I don't want to get too deep into the politics of the situation in Israel, because there are people who have such diametrically opposed views, and some people are just anti-Semitic. They hate Jews. Whatever Jews do, good or bad or indifferent, they can't stand them. And then some people are anti-Israel at the moment because of what's going on, and and some people are anti-Palestinian. I mean, because they think that the Palestinians are driven by an extremist Islamic group called Hamas, as they see it, So there's so many different shades of opinion. But all I want to say is that my food for thought this week is for the over 20,000 children who have died in Gaza because of adults and their shenanigans and their toxic interpretations of history. And honestly, you look at those children, they don't know what's going on. They're starving. Some of them have died. And so let's just say a little prayer for them, whatever our political views about Israel are. Thank you very much for listening.